All right. Hello. Just wanted to say that this is for our repeated measures ANOVA assignment. As you can see here, this is going to be a provocation and aggression scenario in which participants have been intoxicated. So they've got the legal level of blood alcohol level inside them at the time that they are being provoked. Now, in this case, we have a situation where participants are being exposed to a competitive reaction time task um, and are sending levels of noise blasts that have been labeled from, say, maybe 0 to 10. Okay. And so what we have here are three different conditions: low provocation, medium provocation, high provocation. And instead of doing these things between participants, we're having participants receive all three levels of provocation. In an experiment like this, we would randomly assign the order in which they receive provocation to avoid what we would consider order or carryover effects, because we don't want those. Okay, but you can see from just eyeballing the data, this looks a lot like what you would expect to find. All right. That low provocation levels here, you're not going to see a whole lot of aggression, but you'll see considerably more in the medium and high provocation conditions. All right, so let's take a look and see how this shakes out. So what we're going to do is call it a repeated measures ANOVA. These can take some time to set up. So I'm just going to go ahead and give this factor a name. I'm just going to call this provocation. And then I'm going to give these levels names. And you'll notice that I have three levels, but it only gives me two by default. Now, that's not a big deal. There's actually a workaround here, so don't worry too much about that. And then we can play around with that from there. So we'll just call this one low. We'll call this one medium. And then we'll call this one here high and hit enter. And they're all there. How about that? And then I can start to drag these variables where they need to go. So low provocation will go here. I'll go ahead and put medium provocation where it's going to live, and high provocation where it's going to live. And now it starts to compute, all right, which is pretty nifty. The dependent variable label, I can also give it a label as well, and I could just simply say noise blast. Okay, so I can do all that. I can get my eta squared, which is good. The defaults for the model are already set, so you've got what you need there. We're going to go ahead and highlight provocation. Since that's our variable, we'll go ahead and use the Tukey test for post-hoc tests. And then we're going to go ahead and get marginal means plots and tables. We've done that in the past with ANOVA. And it just gives us everything we need. And you can see when you look at the descriptive statistics here that, yes, there's a lot of daylight between low and medium and low and high, a bit less daylight between medium and high, but definitely at least some. You can see the standard error terms here. And you can see the confidence intervals. So those are all there for you. So if you're interested in those, you've got them. If you look at the box and whisker plots, you can see again, where, again, visualize where the differences among the means here probably are. Now we go up to the actual summary table, and it's pretty blindingly obvious that provocation did seem to have an influence on aggression levels. In fact, a very obvious one. You're never going to see an F ratio this high, but this is a toy data set, so this is fantasy, but it's fantasy just simply to illustrate the point. The post-hoc tests show that all of them are statistically significant at the zero point zero 0.05 level, and then some, with the highest differences being between low and medium, low and high. And the medium and high mean difference is not that much, but still statistically a significant difference. So if you're trying to characterize the findings, you can say that, yeah, clearly there's that at medium and high levels of provocation, there is a lot of difference. There is some difference, but the real difference is between low and medium, low and high. All right, so that's how this works. It's not that hard. This is the kind of design, this is the kind of research, this is the kind of analysis that we would use with repeated measures research designs where we have 3 or more levels of an independent variable. And there's actually a lot more that you can do with this if you want to. But for my purposes, this is plenty, okay, to work with. All right, let's end on that note, and we will see you next time.